Hi and namaste, friends. This is Jeet here from Darklight Energetics, and today we would like to welcome you on this very auspicious day of Guru Purnima. And first of all, we would like to wish all of you a very happy Guru Purnima. And as we know that today's day is very special, and there has been a lot of celebrations and sadhanas and a lot of processes going on for Guru Purnima. So first of all, I would like to thank you, Jacob, for arranging this session, this online session. So in this session, we are going to answer you some of the questions that has come to us or will be coming here in conjunction to the video that we had shared last year for Guru Purnima about Guru and what exactly is Guru and how to discover Guru and several other topics that we had shared. So you can find the link about that video here, and so I'll be just answering a couple of questions with regards to that. So let's start. We have first question from Akshay. He says he's asking, in your video you have mentioned that one has to discover their guru, but what if I don't discover it at all? Well, Akshay, the thing is that, like we had mentioned in the video itself, guru is an element, or guru tattva comes to you in very different formats or different forms. It's not that you make someone your guru; it has to be discovered, and we have covered pretty much what exactly it is in that last video. You can find it. So one of the saying also goes that a guru comes to you once you are ready. That is, a master comes to the disciple when the disciple is ready. It happens actually. So master happens to come to you in your life when the disciple is ready. So till the time you have your own preconceived notions about life, or you think that okay, I am handling my life my way, so you may be having some guidance from someone, but you may have guru in your life, but it's just that because you are not recipient enough to understand this whole thing, maybe because of that you feel that you have not yet found your guru. But guru element, or the divine, or the guru tattva, always flows in various forms. It's just that one has to discover that. So we'll move on with the other question. So the second question is from Rupesh. Rupesh says, I took initiation from other guru, and now I cannot see him because he has passed away, and I can't ask him anything now. There is so much of confusion. What should I do? Um, so Rupesh, your question is not quite clear, to be very honest, but I assume what you're trying to ask is that since your master has passed away, what to do now? So basically, what happens is once you get connected with the guru, or the guru element, or the guru tattva, it doesn't matter if the guru is physically present or not, because they are always connected with you, always. And same happens here. Like for example, we speak about Guru Shishya Parampara, or the master disciple relationship, which was initiated and started by Sri Guru Dattatreya. Now, all the avatars of Dattatreya, be it Swami Samarth or Sai Baba or Gajanan Maharaj, there's so many of them, like Nityanand Maharaj of Vajreshwari or Ganesh Puri. There's so many avatars. Now, many of them had connected and they have created many gurus, but physically they are not there now. But even then, the work goes on. So once you connected with a genuine, a real guru, um, of course, the physical form does matter a lot. The physical presence does matter a lot. But since they have passed on, the work doesn't stop. The work carries on. So you must understand that it's not just the physical contact that affects you here. It's also how much you are connected with your guru internally. That is what that matters a lot. So I hope I've answered your question. Um, the other question is coming from uh, Sushmita. Sushmita says, so does that mean that a guru is just an instrument, a device or for transmission, like some kind of channeler? Okay. So, yes, like I said, Guru is a device. In my last video, I have mentioned that Guru is a device, but that doesn't mean that it is just an instrument or a channeler. That is one of the aspect of Guru. But Guru does a lot of things which are beyond that. Guru enables you to to perceive things that you are not able to perceive right now. That is why he or she is there in your life at first place, because you are not able to perceive. Suppose if you go to if you're traveling to some place, and if you don't know the area, obviously you will get hold of a guide over there who knows that particular area. But then again, Guru is not just the guide. So let me be clear with that as well, because many people think that, okay, so he's my guide. Guru is, of course, a guide also, but it's not just the only thing that the Guru does. But then at the same time, as you evolve and as you discover, you will go beyond this Guru Shishya relationships as well, because then you will discover that you and him or her, there is no difference between each other. There is no difference at all. Your consciousness merges with the Guru, like I mentioned earlier. So it's a very mystical process rather than explaining in a logical way. But then it has to happen to someone to experience it. It is not just something that I can just share and tell you in words. But yes, so coming back to your question, it's not just the channeler. He or she or a guru is not just a channeling device, but yes, it does transmit some amount of grace. So in that way, they are like a transmitter, you can say. Okay, so let's move on to the other question. Deepshika from Pune, I think. Okay. Deepshika is asking me, in your video, The Illusion of Now, you have mentioned that there is no now, it is only the past that flows. So then, what's the point? What is the purpose of life? Well, that's a good question, by the way, Deepshika. What is the purpose of life? Well, if how I wish I could answer that question in just one statement, but it's not that easy, is it? But I will try. So yes, so the now is the now, as they say, is a myth, or is an illusion, because, like I mentioned in the video, that it's just the past information that your mind is reprocessing and presenting to you right now, and you assume that it's the now that you are living in. So the purpose of life basically is to live. Now, what is it to live? You will say we are already living. So I would say no, you are not living. You are just existing and managing things here and there. We are we have become so superficial that we are decorating things nicely within us, so that we cannot see our own truth. So we are hiding all those things, we are just putting all the things under the carpet. So therefore we are not living, we are just existing. So, what is it to live? To live is nothing but to experience, experiencing reality as it is, that is going beyond the senses. That doesn't mean that you become free from the senses. I mean, of course, the senses would be still be very much be there, but you become more intensely aware of the experiences that you perceive. Now, you will ask, so what is the use of that? Well, that you have to experience by yourself. That's why it says it's to experience reality as it is, and to experience life as it comes. So it's not just to create a life of a happy-go-lucky kind of environment. That is also one aspect of it, but then it doesn't mean that it is only that. So you have to experience reality, and for that you need to go and transcend yourself, from the mind and the patterns and a lot of other things that are controlling you right now. Be it your values, your morals, your conditions, your preconceived notions, your judgment, your past images, because that past images only flows in the now, and you assume that this is the now. That's not how it is. So those past images also plays a lot of role. So all these things collectively affect you. So it is actually creating a hurdle, a blockage for you to experience. And then again, it's not just limited to the experience, it's also about perception. So experience could be anything, but how you perceive. that it all depends, like I always say, it all depends on how you perceive, because God has created perception in us only in order to be the object of His perception, basically. So I would say that the in a way, you can say the purpose of life is nothing but to experience and perceive reality as it is. So that's why it all depends on how you perceive. So let's move on with the other question. Um, Okay. All right. So this question is coming to me from Sophia. How can I discover the ultimate truth? Okay. So let us first understand what exactly is truth. First of all, let me tell you that there is no such thing as ultimate truth. All right. Because truth has its own layers. Truth in itself is so vast. So what happens is we have complex bunch of lies in our hands. If you keep down all those things that you believe, all the things that you have made up, or because we are constantly lying to ourselves. You're constantly lying to yourself, and not just to the other, but to ourselves. So if you will see, if you sit with the in meditation, and especially when you contemplate, you'll realize that everything is nothing but just stillness, or what you call zero field or emptiness. So then what is the use of all of that? Then what is the truth, like you said? So the use is that it can reflect the whole cosmos if you are in that stillness, if you are with that with that heart frequency, as we call it, or if you are with the antaryaman, or the presence, basically. If you are with that, then it reflect the whole cosmos. Okay. So uh, basically, when you are with that presence, something happens which cannot be described in words. It cannot be actually described in logical sense, but those who speak about the truth, that I have discovered this, I have discovered that, that is the truth, that is just some aspect of their life that they have discovered. But other than that, only a fool will talk about the truth, because truth cannot be talked about. Actually, you can only define and describe something which has some substance, that has measurable parameters and boundaries, basically. So if something that has no boundaries or no parameters, you cannot talk about it, right? So the whole work is about clearing the mess that we have created in ourselves, not about establishing the truth. There is no need to establish truth out there. So it's basically one of the other purposes of life, I would say, that is to discover your truth. But then again, there is no such thing as ultimate truth. Okay, so let's move on to the other question. So we have this question from Rafiq from Hyderabad, I believe, and he is having this question. He says that I've been working on different, several religious as well as spiritual paths. Okay, and I've been working on different levels of consciousness, but I still don't understand what is the level of consciousness. What are the levels? Because if everything is omnipresent and if everything is one, then why such levels? Well, that's a fantastic question. Okay, so my ultimate question is what is high and low consciousness, and how to attain highest level of consciousness? Okay, that's there are too many questions in one question here, but I'll still try to answer that. So understand one thing, Rafiq. Consciousness is consciousness. It's not something which is up there, or not something in specifically in some particular location, right? It's not some kind of a plane where you land up. Like many people say that you have to go into different dimension and this and that. Well, dimension, interdimensional traveling is different, but wherever you are, consciousness is the same everywhere. So we must have a clarity in that first. All right. So now when many people speak about high and low consciousness, I mean, even we also, when we speak about energetics, we sometimes say that this is a high frequency or low frequency. What does that mean? Is a frequency or consciousness is the same everywhere, but the experience of how you perceive it, or how it is perceived, is it varies from it varies in levels. That is why the levels are there. Now when you say level, it doesn't mean that you have to it doesn't mean that you have to strive to get somewhere. So in spirituality, first of all, you must understand that there is nowhere to go. There is absolutely nowhere to go. Okay, so don't put those things in your mind that okay, I have to achieve something, I have to become enlightened, I have to be in the highest consciousness or highest level of consciousness. That is okay, that is just, you're fooling yourself. You are just putting a carrot in front of you and you're just running all the way. It's not like that. So consciousness is always there. All we need is to raise our awareness of that consciousness and how we perceive. So we have to raise the awareness and the level of perception, and that is why the guru helps you to and enables you to increase your level of perception. So coming back to your question, so it's high and low consciousness. No, what it means is the more you're entangled into the mind, or the more you're entangled with your emotions and all the other things like belief, preconceived notions, and all those things, the more you're entangled with that, that means you are more dense or more into the low frequency or low consciousness. The more you are detangled or detached from it, you are into the high consciousness. So it's the state of consciousness again, which matters. But then you don't do it. It has to happen to you. You don't, you just don't try to do it. So you don't do it. It happens with God's grace, with the grace of your guru, or with other external forces and things that work upon you. So like I said, there is no physical place or dimension rather, which says this is the highest or the lowest. um, you are right. When we speak about spirituality, it is all one. So there is no such thing as those divisions in that sense. But just to put it in words, to make you understand in logical sense, these things have been put up, so that you can communicate and you can understand that this is the high or the low frequency. End of the day, it's frequency. It's the end of the day, it's consciousness. Like I said. So I hope I answered your question here. So let's move on to the last question now. The last question is by Sandeep. Sandeep says, "What is the biggest challenge for any guru?" Wow. So what a beautiful question on this auspicious day of Guru Purnima. Actually, well, in short, if I have to answer you, the biggest challenge for Guru is the disciples' resistance or the ego or non-acceptance. Because what happens is you're binded to help someone to grow in many levels. But how can you help someone if they have closed mindset or some kind of preconceived notions about you, right? So when you have those things, that is, I think, is one of the biggest challenge. And the other thing is that it's hard to find a true guru in a physical form. You need a lot of satkarma also in that, like I've discussed in the earlier video. You need a lot of satkarma to have a guru in physical form. But like I was saying, it's hard to find a true guru, but it is even more harder to find a true disciple, basically. And the reason behind that is because the devotion, the dedication, and the commitment that most people show is often there till there is a need, basically. And very few are those who can who can do anything to walk on their path, basically, who can go to any extremes, to walk on their path and evolve. And it is not just the question of doing things, basically, like um, sadhanas and spiritual practices. Many people, many disciples pretend, or they do it mechanically. So they are not only fooling their guru, but they are also fooling themselves. They do it mechanically, and at the same time, some of them do it because they have some sort of insecurity or want to become like someone. Like like we had the question that you want to become, that you want to achieve highest consciousness or something like that. So when you have such things, you are doing it because there is a need in you itself. So because of all of this, what happens is this, even the spiritual path then becomes like some kind of a rat race. It becomes like a rat race where people are just running with, in order to achieve something. But actually, in reality, there is no such thing to achieve. There is nowhere to go. So enlightenment is not something that to be achieved. It's not a degree that you achieve and then you start showing off to your friends that, hey, you know what, I got this degree. It's not like that. So very few are those who have true passion and dedication. But those are the ones who automatically become guru for many others, and then they create furthermore gurus in future. So like I said in the earlier video, guru is not something to be followed; it is to be discovered. And same thing, the biggest challenge for the guru is to find a true disciple, because many people just simply follow the guru just because they want to get things done for themselves, just because they want to fix their relationship, their broken marriage, or any sort of things, or financial problem, this problem, that problem. But I'm sure that in coming times, the seekers will increase in coming times. So that is something positive about all this chaos that we are going through right now, be it coronavirus or a lot of conflicts that are going on in the world. I think eventually all of that will lead people, to discover their true devotion and make them a true seeker. So, with that being said, a Guru Shishya tradition or Guru Shishya parampara is something which is eternal, and it is not just limited with this life. So, we wish you all a very happy Guru Purnima, and may you discover your Guru. And if you already have a Guru, then may you evolve more with your Guru. Thank you.